Hi, everyone. I am thrilled to be joined by two friends that I've known for a long time, going back to principal and superintendent days. I am thrilled and excited to be here with Brian Stack and Jonathan Vander Els. How are you guys?
Great,
Great.
Virgil. Great to see you. Great to be here.
Ex-
Excited.
Excellent. It's great to connect with you again. You two continue to serve and lead and support learning communities in their transition to becoming much more personalized and competency based. And so I'm excited to talk with you today to hear what the latest is. For those that don't know you, tell us about VNS School Solutions, what you're doing, and what you're supporting across the country.
Great. Thanks, Virgil. It's wonderful to be here. And again, to think about how long we've known each other and been asking questions of each other and trying to support each other. Time sure does fly by quickly. Brian and I have been working together now for, I think we figured out at least 2 decades, and the work just keeps going forward. And we've always had this common thread in our work. When we were principals together at Sanborn Regional, we were really just trying to do better for the kids that were in our schools and try to help them find their pathways, and also to try to support the adults that are working in our buildings. And that's continued today with VNS School Solutions. It's just a way that we're able to join in partnerships with schools and districts across the country and try to help them wherever they are. Everybody's in a different place, but wherever they are, and supporting their students and their adults and supporting students. And we just try to lean into the experience that we have and the relationships. Really, a VNS School Solutions is about developing, cultivating, and sustaining the relationships that we have with folks like you, Virgil, and many others that we've been working with for a long time. So that's what we're about.
Yes, and I think our relationship with you all has entered its second decade as well. Definitely three name changes ago, but it's been great because through the years, being able to connect and network with like-minded educators doing this work in different places around the country, it was pivotal for us when we were doing our own work. And it continues to be because it pushes our thinking.
One of my favorite things to do in the morning is to see what colleagues, partners, and friends are up to, and watching you all travel the globe to share your wisdom and your purpose in meaningful ways is a lot of fun to see your impact continue to multiply. You're in it now. Your sleeves are rolled up with learning communities. How do your supports help move the needle for learning communities that are willing to think boldly about what might be possible in the service of young people? What's the latest? What's on the ground? What are you all wrestling with? What excites you?
Well, there's so much to that question. I'll start, and I'm sure John will chime in. I think it's all about building relationships and helping people find purpose and really think about their work with a strategic lens that it's a long game and not a short game. The best work that we've seen in the schools that we've been a part of and the schools that we continue to work in are the ones where people really build that long plan of setting a belief and value system, really committing to getting everybody involved in the school or the district, the teachers, the students, the rest of the community into that belief system to really own that, and then to think about ways to move work forward and make use of collaborative teams and teacher collective efficacy. Such a huge part of the work. It's so easy to get lost and caught up in the weeds of here are the things we need to do as a checklist so that we can say now we're competency based, right? It's really more than that, right? There's so many other pieces that have to be included in order to have a system of support.
Absolutely, Brian. I would just add to that we've really kind of tried to take a step back, especially over the last couple of years, and help schools and districts envision, as Brian said, that vision of where they're headed, because without that, it tends to kind of drift away from where they are intending the work to go. And it also serves as a bit of a guiding light, so to speak, for others in the school. And what we kind of noticed over time is that there was a really heavy effort devoted to the technical aspects of work or change. And schools and districts were sometimes ignoring that more adaptive piece of change that we know is also very, very important. And without that, you're going to have to go back to that initially. So we're really trying to support schools in both areas, knowing that there's a balance, and that when schools recognize that balance and tend to some of the things that get in the way, the resistance that gets in the way is a natural part of it. they're much better off in the long run, and they're able to build the capacity with their staff that is needed to really make this work go forward. As Brian was really talking about, the developing collaborative teams, developing teacher leadership and teacher ownership really of the process is key. And without that, really the change effort has a real potential to fail if teachers don't understand it and own it and try to help be part of the coalition that's going to move that work forward.
Yeah, that's when you get that momentum from buy-in to commitment, right? It's hard for us to talk about learner agency and a culture of agency and personalization if we're not doing the same for the adults who are serving our young people as well and establishing that culture. And one of the pieces I've always appreciated about both of you from the very beginning, when I met you as principals, we were serving in schools directly. And a piece I appreciate is like the complete learner mindset that you all have, right? It's you're leading and you're serving, you're leading with purpose, but you're also modeling what it means to be a learner. What's on the horizon for you now as you're thinking about how you best serve and partner with schools? What are you leaning into? What are you learning? What are you curious about? What's on the radar for you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Like the learner mindset piece, I think sometimes there's a level of fear that adults have by admitting they don't know something or something's new for them. And so Brian and I really try to model that in any of our interactions, whether it's with students or adults, in that we're learners and we're trying to learn. So right now there are a lot of exciting things happening. And I think, our work ultimately is about how adults can support students so that students can find pathways that are meaningful for them. And I mean, you know better than anybody, and you folks at FullScale know that the work that's happening has exponentially multiplied over the course of a decade and more, right? And just the creative mindsets that are out there. So we have to fall back and lean into in our work with schools some of the considerations that we know are going to be longstanding, right? Overall structures, policies, those types of things, and when you get people into a room and they start to think out of the box about micro schools or pathways, externships, internships, anything that's happening that really leans into allowing students to explore, we have to try to support that. And what gets in the way are the traditional structures of schools that some people think can't change. And so trying to help people think about what those changes could be, and then problem solving. I think that's what a lot of our work is. Those are, critical thinking and problem solving are two of the key competencies that we're trying to help become more consistent in schools across America and beyond for kids. So that piece is really exciting for us. It just there's so much out there, and then trying to help folks figure out how to follow that pathway is certainly something that Brian and I focus on a lot.
Yeah, you gave a great answer. I would ditto everything that you said, not rehash or repeat,
Right.
but I'll say specifically, learner mindset's huge. When we go somewhere new, it's the first thing that teachers bring up as something that they're concerned about. They want to see more effort put into thinking about how best to help bring out metacognition and student engagement strategies and really get kids to own their learning and be reflecting on where am I now, where am I trying to go next, right? So that's a big part of our work, is helping them understand their role as an educator in being a facilitator of learning and knowing when to, or being able to think critically about what are the opportunities where we can collect evidence and provide meaningful feedback to kids that will help them on that journey. So that's a big part of the work. I think also too, just helping them kind of deal with some of the realities of current schooling, right? State testing still there. How do we marry that? How do we bridge the gap between what we know is right and building skills and really focusing on the apply and transfer side of competency ed, but also understanding that we've got to prepare kids to be successful for state assessments. A lot of times it means you got to get into the weeds with state standards. The last time that many teachers have looked at the language in state standards and really unpacked it for rigor and developed an understanding of this is where we're trying to get kids to by this point in time. Now let's think about the progression of how we're going to get them there so that we can think about some of these different pathways, right? So it's helping them build basically a calibrated and defensible system so that they can do that together as teacher teams working in a school or a district towards a common cause.
Love that. It comes back to how do you build that collaborative muscle, and you're doing that within the school systems that you serve. I recall just having both of you on speed dial to say, I've got this thing. I don't know how to figure it out. What have you done about that? And so like building that culture within a school system where you don't have to make the call or travel across the country, but go across the hall to a colleague and helping to make that real is inspiring and great. So look, there will be teams that hear this and say, I'm in, like, help us to figure this out, Jonathan and Brian. Like, how do we reach you? Where should we find you? How do we find you on social? What's the best way for us to contact you?
Yeah, so LinkedIn, Brian and I are both on there, at Jonathan Vander Els for me, and at Brian Stack, correct?
At BStackBU, but yeah.
BStack BU, his alma mater.
Yeah. We're
So,
also vnsschoolsolutions.com if you want to visit our website as well. And
and that's,
we'll start a conversation.
yeah, that's,
See how we can help you all build a plan for some long-term success.
yeah, the V and S School Solutions is VANDS School Solutions.
And it's great to connect, guys. And also don't forget, for those that are listening in, that Jonathan and Brian will be at the FullScale Symposium, October 25th through the 28th, sharing their wisdom at our pre-conference and also throughout the symposium. So join us in New Orleans. We'd love to see you. I'd love for you all to meet Brian and Jonathan and develop that friendship that I have and that collegiality as well. So thank you, gentlemen. It was great to reconnect.
Thanks,
Thank you, Virgil.
Virgil.
Take care.